again, welcome to a new video. In this new video we are going to talk about mediating role of advertising in consumer ethnocentrism. So advertising is arguably the marketing communication tool most frequently used to persuade or change consumers' attitude towards both brand and product references. A central paradigm in the advertising literature involves the impact of consumers' attitude toward the ad of their attitude toward the products and their intention and behaviors. So, several studies have found that consumers' attitude towards advertisement may affect their information processing and thus their attitude toward the products. For example, the advertising motivates consumers to change their attitude towards the advertised products, and their indirect effects models suggest that the attitude towards the ads has an impact on the attitude towards the product through affect transfer. Furthermore, empirical research demonstrates that consumers' response to ads differ depending on the consumer's ethicality. So these studies are further strengthened by the Randall Lambert and finding the criticism of advertising are explained by consumers' social, cultural, and political alienation. So another advertising perspective is that firms' continuous effort to expose consumers to advertising are used as a means to familiarize consumers about the products. For example, the familiarity increases consumers' cognitive information processing, which it turns positively affects consumer behavior as familiarity increases. So at the same time, advertising function on familiarity can mitigate the CE. So the contact hypothesis proposes that the more a person knows about another group, the less likely he or she is to be prejudiced against the group. Thus, by increasing communication among members of different groups, intergroup anxieties can be reduced and positive association are promoted. So the optimal intergroup contact is being of behavior modification. So the behavioral process benefits from repeat contact. So repetition helps intergroup encounters become comfortable and rare and eventually initiates intergroup liking. So this phenomenon suggests a direct and positive correlation between the degree of contact between two groups and their attitude towards each other. As discussed previously, CE is caused by consumers' negative disposition towards foreign products because of a general attitude of dislike towards the foreign group. This negative attitude is attributed to consumers' concerns about their own national economic well-being. Contact theory posits that the attendance of these negative attitudes might derive from contact mechanisms. In other words, according to the cognitive approach, greater knowledge of another culture leads to a positive attitude toward the foreign marketer and its process and products. Furthermore, because the C's affective orientation, national and patriotic emotion, optimal promptitude with the foreign marketer and culture, coupled with empathy, is like to lead a positive emotional relationship. However, a communication from the foreign marketer and aimed at patriotic emotion might be successful in producing a behavioral response in favor of domestic products. Therefore, as aforementioned theoretical printing suggests that the C can be lowered by increasing the contact, the commercial communication through firms' advertisements of foreign products between foreign marketers and consumers. Although hypothesis first suggests that C directly affects consumers' attitudes towards foreign advertising, and we further argue that increased exposure to foreign firms' advertisement might mediate the consumer's perception of foreign products. Thus, we propose the following. The hypothesis number 2 is in the three countries, consumers' favorable attitudes toward foreign advertisements mediate their unfavorable attitudes toward foreign products. So now mediating role of consumer globalization in consumer ethnocentrism says that empirical evidence also has shown that cognitive style influence individual levels of CE, and was such orientation that decentralizes an individual from cultural observatism is having a global mindset. Global mindset is a behavioral attribute like web points, like a position from which something is considered or evaluated, a standpoint, a position which objects or principles are viewed and judged, or philosophies is the most general beliefs, concept, and attitudes of an individual or a group. So, Grab and data define a global mindset as one that combines an openness to awareness of diversity across cultures and markets with a propensity and ability to synthesize across this diversity. So, a global mindset enables an individual to scan the world from a broad perspective. So, consumer globalization refers to the extent which consumers' buying habits coverage toward the consumption of global brands and products like Coke, Levi's, Nike. So, Janet in 2020 has supposed this notion through the concept of global customer logic, which posits that consumers go beyond the boundaries of local media to acquire information about their purchase, and this phenomenon has become more pronounced because of the geographic spread of cable and satellite television and the development of the internet. The frequency of foreign travel as well has income on that. So, philosophers and social science have explored this attribute of human behavior in many ways, and some call it attributive of human behaviors, like one's view of the world, but others have used phrases such as one standpoint, one point of view, and one philosophy. Somewhat recent management literature had introduced the term mindset, and according to Webster New World College Dictionary, the term refers to a mental inclination, tendency, or habit, or a fixed state of mind. It enables the consumers to treat the entire world marketplace as a single entity while acknowledging cultural diversities. It also enables consumers to take into account the purpose, processes, and people distant from this order and own environment characteristics such as openness to change and or new ideas, diverting thinking style, and tolerance toward different and conflicting cultures are all inherent to an individual with a global mindset. So he argues that people who emphasize self-discretion and simulation are more open to exposure of new and foreign ways of life because of the opportunities they provide for learning, novelty, and excitement. So also, there's some evidence of a negative correlation between hedonism and in-group favoritism, and this argument is with support by Mueller and Milward in 2002, and it leads to a proposed negative relationship between openness to change the CE. So an individual with global mindset adheres to the philosophy that too much tradition impedes the innovation and progress. Instead of he or she believes in the adaptation of traditional cultural values to a broader global context, this concept of a global mindset, though similar to the cultural openness context, has some distinctive attributes, like the cultural openness is a phenomenon that is proactively sought by the consumer, and its attitude of indifferences of an individual difference acceptance of the other culture. But in contrast, an individual with a goal mindset looks like all culture with an equal eye. So in addition, the world-mindedness or a person's view of humankind as a reference group rather than people of the same ethnicity has been related to ethnocentrism in an explorative study by Crawford and Lamb. So the consumer ethnocentrism online is more dramatically in the past few years due to the potential to shop online that has increased dramatically. For example, the current internet universe is estimated to be around 40,000 million users worldwide, and a recent retailing survey reveals that on average, online shoppers spend approximately $9,000 on internet purchase annually. So we are going to discuss this more extensively in our next video, so hope you have enjoyed this one and see you in the next.